Oh, hang on. I don't know why it says it was deleted on Facebook. Try creating a new broadcast or just remove the destination from the broadcast and then re-add it. All right, hold on. We're going to remove and re-add that. I don't know why. Every so often it does this to me, so just a second, and we'll put it back on Facebook and save it, and then we'll start live. All right. Okay, I think we're live now. So had a little glitch on Facebook, good old Facebook. It's not perfect by any means, but it is a good platform for us to do our show. So welcome to Let's Talk Racing Live. My guest today is Phoenyk Kimball. I've followed Phoenyk for a while, and then I actually got to meet her in Charlotte. That was that last fall or last summer? I can't even remember, when we were there for the Women in Motorsports event. So that was good. I met her and her mom, and I believe your sister was there, right?
Yes.
Yes. So we'll have to make sure we get your sister's name in here too, so that we don't leave her out. So Phoenyk, welcome to the show. First of all, you're here on a very special day. Do you know what today is?
It's National Women's Day or something like that.
Yes. It's actually international. It's International Women's Day. Mm-hmm. And so you're the guest on International Women's Day, so that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's awesome. So you'll remember what day you were on when we go back to look at this. So I'm seeing a lot of posts today on motorsports, and Brett's daughter, Adriana, had a really nice thing that she posted, and she tagged several of us that have helped her and that. And so a lot of times Brett's on with us. He's been off for a few weeks, so he may jump in here pretty soon, Phoenyk. And if he does, we'll probably let him talk with us too. But otherwise, it'll just be you and I. So why don't we start by letting people know who you are, where you're from, about your family. So why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I am Phoenyk Kimball. I am 15 years old. I'm in 9th grade, and I have been racing now for about 3 years. I started bandos, just recently moved up to Legends, and I have 3 other siblings. I have an older sister named Raven, an older brother named Jet, and then a younger brother named Hawk. I also have 2 dogs, Titus and Iris, and yeah.
So your family has very cool names. So Phoenyk, Raven, and then what were the brothers?
Jet and Hawk.
Jet and Hawk. I love that your mom just said, I'm going to name my kids something that probably most people don't have those names, and that's very cool. But like we were talking ahead of time before we got on, if you go on vacation and you think you're going to buy a keychain with your name on it, you can forget
never there.
You can forget it. Yeah, you're going to have to make it yourself somehow because they're not there. But that's the upside of that is my name's not Mary or Sue, which there's nothing wrong with those names, but I'm glad my name's a little bit different too. So yeah, that's kind of fun. So Phoenyk, you're 15 years old. How did you get started in racing?
Well, I've always grown up in a family who loves going NASCAR races, always watched NASCAR, was in love with Dale Jr., and that kind of thing. So actually, when I was 7 years old, I went and started at Rush Hour Karting, and I was racing go-karts for a little bit. Not going to lie, I was really slow. I did suck. But then over time, I picked it up, and then eventually I have my best friend, Carson Hayslip, was racing bandos, and I had been friends with him at the time, so I went up to watch him race at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then I was like, I want to get into that. So the next season I started, and yeah.
And so how many years were you racing in those kind of cars?
I believe it was 2 years, around 2 years.
Okay.
2.5.
All right. So you did that, and where'd you go after that? What'd you do after that?
The bandos. After the bandos, I just recently moved up to Legends. I ran my first race January 1st, so fairly new.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So, where I live here in Michigan, we don't see very much of that kind of racing, bandos or legends. For whatever reason, I think it's more popular in some parts of the country than others because you just don't hear about those. So for the people that maybe don't know that much about bandoleros and legends, why don't you tell me a little bit about what makes a bandolero car different than anything else? And then what is a legend car?
Okay, so a bando is just like a smaller go-kart, but it has a slightly bigger chassis and just a full body around it. Of course, it's slower than the legend, but it's much it's a great starting point. It's if you want to get into racing, start in a bando. If you're older and want to get into racing, maybe start into a legend. Try a legend out. A legend's more bigger, it's faster, harder to control, and it's like they're both fun, but a bando is just much smaller. Legend's much bigger. Legend's much faster, and bando's much slower.
So it's basically a progression. You know, probably you want to start maybe in a bando and then move up to the legend, which is what you're going to do. Yeah, for sure. So one of my two people that are always on, Benjamin, is from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. He's always listening in. But K-Dub, she's one of my favorites because she always has very great questions. So she said, I love your trophy room. I can't wait to hear all about it. So we might as well go straight to the trophies. What's that great big one behind you? How, where did you win them? How successful have you been? And we'll start there.
Okay, so let's start with this trophy, I guess. So when I was in bando, my second season, I won 5th in the national championship out of like 200 something cars, I think it was. So finished 5th out of everyone, but all these other trophies are majority first place trophies, and then the rest are like podium finishes. I've won at Wake County, Langley, 6 different tracks, really. 9 different tracks, sorry.
33 wins.
And 33 wins. Ran at 6 different tracks. I have like 5 track records, so
you
a variety of trophies behind me. There's much more than this. It's just not seen right now.
Yes, exactly. And so how old were you when you won your first trophy? Do you remember? Won your first race?
I think I was 13 at Auburndale Speedway in Florida for the first nationals.
Okay. All right. And so tell me a little bit about then. So do you run a series? So you travel to different tracks? Do you run for a championship at a certain track? What do you do, or what are you going to do this year?
This year, I'm not looking to win any championships or get as much wins as I can. This season's just learning because it's my first season in the legend. I just need to get used to the car, learn how the car handles and stuff. So I'm not going for anything big this year, maybe next year, but it's just a learning experience for right now.
Okay. All right. So, but in the past, obviously you, maybe even if you weren't going for, championships or whatever, you were very successful. What do you think made you so successful at such a young age?
Definitely the experience in the go-karts a little bit. I rush hour karting, but I had an amazing car. It was set up by Dylan Spain. He has a team called DSM. He makes all of our cars super fast. Everyone on our team's always picking up wins, getting podiums left and right. So I think a part of that was just him giving me a really, really good car to race.
Okay. All right. So K-Dub says you have over 20 wins in 2022. Which of those was the hardest to get?
I think, I went to Florence Motor Speedway. It was a doubleheader. There was like 22 bandos, I think. And the first race, I qualified on the pole. And the first race came around. Before it even went green, I was taken out. So then I had to pull into the pits. We dealt with everything. We got our car back, fixed up. Second race, I went out. I had to start at the rear out of 23 cars. And by the end of the race, I won that race. I made my way back up to the front, and I won the race.
So
that was the hardest win, maybe.
Yeah, and you were determined because somebody took you out right from the start. whether it was on purpose or not, we're not even going to go down that road. And yet you came back and said, I'm better than this. I'm going to show them how I can do this. And away you went. And then you won that. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's determination. She says, where did the number 88 come from?
Again, when I was just a little baby, even when I was in my mom's womb, we were going to NASCAR races. And we've always rooted for Dale Jr. So I thought, well, maybe when I get into the bando, I'll just keep it running in the family. So I chose 88.
Does he know that?
I don't think he knows that, but
well, you never know. Sometime you may see him. You're going to have to tell him.
Maybe, I don't know.
Hey, our family loves what you've done, and I have number 88 because of you. You never know, because if you go to races, especially the second half of the season when he's broadcasting, they got to walk around and get to where they're getting. And he's actually, I've met him. I had a young gal that used to do some stuff with me, and she actually got to interview him. Oh, sorry. She got to interview him, and she was only like 10. And it was the cutest interview. And so always be open and prepared, for whoever you're going to see if you go to the racetrack, right?
Yep.
So you started out, your family didn't race, they just liked racing, right? Nobody in your family raced until you?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So what about your sister or your brothers? Do any of them race?
My sister just started too in the legend car, and so every time we go to track, we're racing together. So she just got into that recently too. So
do you race against each other?
Yes, but we're not really we don't go back and forth the track. We still respect each other. It's just a way of bonding.
Okay. All right. That's good. So you're competitive, but you're not crazy about beating your sister. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So what is your car color? I didn't ask you that.
The body's black, and then it has green flames on it. So it's just flames all over the car, and then on the side where I get in the car, there's a Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
the name, and then the flames just come from the bird Phoenix. So it all originates towards my name.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very cool. So, I just asked you about what was your hardest win, but what has been your most memorable moment? Might not be a win. It might be something else. Might be a fan experience or something. Can you think of one that stands out?
I would say my first win. That was, like I said, I was down in Florida. I was new to racing, wasn't really expecting to get a win, just there to have fun, get seat time in. But I ended up picking up 2 wins, I think I got there, and that was a very memorable time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Especially your first one. That's always going to be something you're never going to forget. So you said the young man helps you, or whoever it is that helps you with your car setup. Who else helps you with your car? And do you work on it yourself, or is it in a different location to where you can't really help with the car?
I personally don't do anything with my car, just get in and race it. But we have a whole team. We have like 7 different drivers, maybe. I'm not quite sure how many. There's kind of a lot. But we have Dylan Spain. We have Connor Bushy. We have a guy named Logan. They're like family. They help everyone get wins, set up cars. They never give up. We wreck, it's fine. They're going to fix it.
Yeah.
They just make sure we have good cars.
So when you go to a race, and you're not running the series, so I assume you're going to be traveling around running the legend cars. So do they all run legend cars, and you all go to the same event, or everybody does their own thing?
So what Dylan does is he does legends, bandos. So half of our team runs legends, half of our team runs bandos, and wherever us kids want to race, we'll go and race, but not everyone will be at the same track at the same time. So.
Okay. So and so he sounds like he's pretty smart with the setup, and so
he really is. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and that's such a big advantage, because if your parents haven't really been involved in racing, that's a huge learning curve. to do that. So you're pretty lucky that you have somebody who does that. How about marketing partners? Do you have anybody that you want to talk about or list that helps you financially with your cars?
Yes, I have a whole list of sponsors. I got Twisted Scissors, Rush Hour Karting, Crippin' Easy, Split Key, North Carolina Illuminations, Barnes Auto Detailing, and I believe that's Loggerhead Designs, Black Acid, if I didn't say that one already. And I believe that's it.
That's quite a few.
Shout out to them for helping me out.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love Black Acid. So
yes.
I
they make the best merch.
I tell you. So somebody posted on Facebook something, and it might, honestly, Phoenix, it might have been you, posted something about shirts from her. And so then I within a few days of that, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, you should interview Jessica. I think her last name is Can or Con. So so I didn't realize she was Black Acid Racing Apparel. And so I reached out to her to interview her because of her racing. And then she's like, oh yeah, and I own Black Acid. And so it was just the funniest thing. So now she's going to design some shirts for me that we're going to have to sell. I love what she does. I love how she does it, where you have your own site and I can get on and order a shirt from you, and stuff. I think that's such a great idea. And so I'm going to have her on the show if she ever can catch up with her work, because she's crazy busy at the moment.
Yeah, sure. She's pretty busy, but she makes the dream come true. I love the sweatshirts I have for the 2023 season. I wear that sweatshirt nonstop. Let me tell you. That is my favorite sweatshirt.
Yeah, I saw the shirts that and there was quite a few people on her website that I recognized. And so she does a really good job. So we'll give her a free plug tonight. Go to Black Acid Racing Apparel and check out what she does. But so if you want to buy a shirt, one of Phoenix's shirts, you can share the link and they can get on and buy a shirt from you, Phoenix, says that would be awesome to have them in Kalamazoo, somebody wearing one, and who knows where, right?
Yes.
So K-Dub says, with today being International Women's Day, who is your favorite sports athlete from any sport?
Well, I don't really watch any other sports, but racing, Haley Deegan. She is all time. I love her. I've talked to her before. She's so sweet. Nicest person you'll ever meet. Just love her. But
yeah, and she's a good one to follow, because we need to support other women that are in motorsports. And she doesn't always get the she doesn't, they pick on her, I feel like sometimes, even when they're talking about her, not just on the racetrack. And I feel like she doesn't get the credibility that she deserves. Because she's the only girl and somebody wrecks her or whatever, they're like, oh, she got wrecked again. Well, if you went through the whole field of trucks, there's a lot of them that get wrecked all the time. It isn't just her. And so it annoys me that they always have to pick on her about that. But she's doing better. And I really like her too. And I just want her to be the best she can be and really, represent very well. So K-Dub says the end of March is your first race with your new car. Have you practiced, and how are you feeling about the car?
My first race was actually
you said January, sorry.
Yeah, January. So I've been practicing. My local track's Wake County. I was practicing there for a little bit, but they just recently repaved the track, so I haven't been able to practice there. But every once in a while, I go up to Jacksonville at New River, good All-American Speedway, and I'll practice there for a little bit.
Okay. So when you got in the car for the first time in January, had you gotten to practice in it very much?
I did a little bit. I practiced maybe 4 times maybe, but that was my first actual race.
Yeah.
First time doing restarts and legends. So it was all new.
Yeah. And it takes time, because people look at racing and they first of all, a lot of people don't think it's a sport or it's,
Mhm.
it's not the same as stick and ball. Well, no, it's not the same, but it's definitely a sport, and the drivers and the crew and everybody are definitely athletes. All you have to do is watch a pit stop to know
Mhm.
that, first of all. And it takes time to get used to your car, which might drive different than the guy who's racing next to you. So you have to get used to your car and all those things. But I think the younger you are, you're only 15, you're going to pick it up
Mhm.
fairly quickly. I would think so, for sure. So if you have a bad day at the racetrack, how do you deal with that?
I get kind of frustrated. Like I always like I don't want to race anymore. Like I just want to leave because like when you're at the track all day, it gets tiring.
It
Like
is.
I just like want to go home and go to sleep for a little bit. Come on now, but I was like I don't know. It depends on the track, really, honestly.
Okay.
But
Do you have
I don't
somebody
know.
that you like talk to about it, or do you want to just be left alone?
I just
Or
I don't really have anybody to talk to about it. So I just like
yeah.
I just get frustrated, but I don't really take it out on much of anyone. So
Okay.
I just keep me to myself. I'm like just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Well, and so that's something that, as a kid and teenager, especially,
Mhm.
you got to find somebody that you can vent to, because that always helps. If you kind of vent and get it off your chest, then you can kind of move on. So find somebody you can vent to, and let them know ahead of time, hey, it's not you. I'm just venting because I'm frustrated,
Mhm.
and go from there. But what's your favorite part of being a race car driver?
I would say maybe making new friends.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of racing friends anyways, but when I do make friends, it's kind of cool.
Okay. So so you go to school, you're a freshman, you said, in high school.
Yes.
So what do your friends at school think about you racing?
Um, some of the girls are supportive, but more so the boys make fun of me for it. But yeah, I don't care. Like, come on, really?
Yeah.
Always, all they're just like all you do is turn left.
See, there you
That's not
go.
all that's to it. But say what you want to say. I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah. No, and don't knock it till you've tried it.
Hmm.
They don't have a clue, but
I don't pay it any mind. They're just being annoying.
that's good. That's good, because boys at that age can be very annoying no
Yeah.
matter what. And so, and then but the girls are supportive, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Do they ever come and watch you race, any of your friends?
Not really. I have like two friends that will come watch me every once in a while, but
Okay. All right.
yeah.
But most of your friends are probably at the racetrack, aren't they?
Uh, well, I have friends from like different states from racing, so
Yeah.
I don't really see majority of them, really,
Okay.
honestly. So
All right.
it depends on where I'm at.
Okay. So, do you have a fan experience, or do you have any fans that always come, or that they like specifically come to watch you race, or not yet, because you're just starting in the legends?
Yeah, there's actually this one guy from Wake County. He'll drive down to wherever he needs to drive down to watch me race. Like he's always there supporting me. Um, but I don't really have like any like crazy fans that will like travel
Okay.
hours and hours. So not yet,
You
at
may-
least.
yeah, but you probably will one of these days after you get
Mhm.
to be a little bit more well known. So, yeah. So, what is something about either yourself or your driving style that you would like to improve on?
In the legend, I'd say my restarts. The past like I don't know how many restarts, like 7 maybe. I have not had the best restarts. I struggle staying on people's bumpers. I don't know what
Okay.
it is, but and shifting too. I kind of need to work on that.
Okay. So that's something you need to work on when you're practicing.
Yes.
Okay. So what about your racing career? After you're going to be in legends. Is that something you're going to be able to race for a really long time, like even through as an adult? or are you looking to maybe move on to something else after you get, a few years of Legends under your belt?
Plan on staying in Legends for like next 2 years maybe, and then eventually I'll probably move up. I don't really have like a big vision for my future. I just go day by day. But if I were to move up, I'd probably be most likely a late model or something. But
Okay.
staying in the Legend for right now.
Okay. And I didn't think to ask you, but are you racing dirt or asphalt?
Asphalt.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure that I got that out there. So, do you have somebody? I mean, you just basically started in Legends, but do you know anybody that races Legends that you think will be your biggest competitor?
My biggest competitor maybe. My dad is saying Carson, but Carson's like really, really good, and I'm not there yet. So
Yeah. But that's who maybe you hope to be competitive with at some
I
point.
hope to beat him one time. I mean, it'd probably make him a little mad, but
that's okay. You've got something to strive for there
Yeah.
to get that good,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, do you see yourself, like, let's just say 5-10 years from now, do you see yourself still racing?
I'm not too sure. I don't have like a big I don't want to race for the rest of my life. It's not like something I see me doing.
Okay.
So who knows?
You never know.
Day by day.
Okay. All right. So if a mom came up to you at the racetrack and said, my daughter thinks she wants to race like you do, what would be your advice? What would you say to them?
Do your research. Make sure you join a good team. Make sure everyone around you is supportive. Make sure you're financially okay with it, because that's like a big part. It's a lot of money, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of sucks. But just make sure you're in a good position. Do your research. Make sure your daughter understands everything that's going on, and make sure she understands that you're gonna have haters, and just don't pay them any mind.
Yeah, that's something that everybody needs to learn. I don't care what age you are. And really, the more successful you are, sometimes the more haters you have.
Yes, that's true. 100% true.
Yeah, and so you've got to have a tough skin for sure if you're going to be a race car driver. So have you, like when you were in the Bandoleros, you started to be one of the older ones, would you have been a role model for any of the other drivers? Did you mentor anybody that was younger?
Yeah. I've actually some of the bando drivers on my team. I've helped them out the best I could. I give them tips. If people ask me something, I'm going to tell them the truth. Like, you ask me how you do certain techniques, I'm going to tell you. I try my best. If people ask me questions, I try to be honest with them.
Yeah. Because, if they're asking you for advice, they obviously look up to you. And so, you want to leave a good impression for one thing. Mm-hmm. And, that's a compliment if they're asking you for advice. And so, you need to be as honest and upfront with them as you can, and do as much as you can to help them, because that just helps the sport all together. Yeah. So let's talk about social media. How do you use it to promote yourself and your team? And what platforms are you, on the most?
I have an Instagram racing page. It's Phoenyk Kimball 88 Racing. And then the same thing for my Facebook. Mm-hmm. I have promo videos on there. I do stuff for my sponsors. Okay. But yeah, that's basically it. And I shout people out, post, share people's posts, make them put their name out there. People put my name out there, just back and forth. Yeah, it's kind of a trade-off. You help them and they help you, right? Yes. Yeah, I share a lot of the things that you post, mm-hmm. just because I know who you are, and I want to get your name out there for sure. Thank you. What do you do during the off season when you're not racing? During off season, this was actually my first time having an off season, really. But I did a little bit of practicing. I still do school. So it's just school, and practicing, and balancing out friendships too. So yeah, have time for your friends, because you are still in high school. You need to do high school stuff, right? Yeah. Not just racing. Yeah.
So do you do iRacing at all or any kind of racing games?
I actually have iRacing. We have a simulator thing, but me personally, I don't like iRacing. I don't like.
Okay.
I'm never on that thing. I just don't like it. It's not for me. But
Okay.
maybe.
Hey, you're not the only one. I've heard others that, just feel like it's not their thing, and then other people are crazy about it. So,
Yeah,
that's
I have friends that are like, get on iRacing. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
yeah.
You
Well, that's
could
okay.
think that.
You don't have to like it. I was just curious because it is a hot thing, that a lot of them like to do. So,
Yep, I
yeah.
have it, but I don't use it.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask you some quick questions to find out a little bit more about you, some of your favorites. So don't think hard. Just tell me your answer off the top. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's your favorite food?
Crab legs. Love,
Wow.
love, love, love crab legs.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite color?
Black.
Favorite animal?
Owl.
Favorite place to go on vacation?
Oh, I haven't been, but I really want to go on a cruise to Jamaica.
Okay. That counts. How about your favorite candy?
Jolly Ranchers.
What flavor?
The blue one. Blue. I think it's
Blue raspberry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite racetrack?
Nope.
How about what kind of music do you like?
I like a mixture of rap and country.
Okay. All right. How about a favorite sports team?
Oh, I don't really watch sports. I don't have one.
Okay. That's all right. Do you have a favorite professional race car driver? Yes, Dale Jr. Dale Jr. Favorite holiday?
Dale Jr.
Favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Oh, all the kids answer Halloween. And I always tell them, I never liked Halloween.
Why?
Well, okay. So I grew up on a farm in West Central Illinois. So at Halloween time, number one, my dad was always in the field harvesting. I lived in the country, so we would go. My grandma I lived on a hill. My grandma lived at the bottom of the hill, so I would trick or treat my grandma, my aunt and uncle, and then a lot of times our church had a party. So that's what I did as a kid. Well, then when my kids started trick or treating, I lived in Illinois at the time. It always rained. It was cold. You spent all this money or time making costumes, and then you covered them up with a coat. Nobody could see them. It was dark. It was raining. And then they had all this candy. And then you don't want your kids eating all that candy. So I picked out the stuff I liked. I let them all have a little, and then I threw it away. And it was just like, this is such a waste. To this day, I do not like Halloween. I like fall, so I decorate with pumpkins and stuff, but no, not Halloween. So my favorite holiday is Christmas.
Yeah. Usually adults like Christmas. So
yeah, especially when you have grandkids, and stuff. So yeah. Do you have a favorite TV show?
Ooh,
or Netflix or whatever you watch?
I like to watch documentaries, but my favorite TV show is probably The Summer I Turned Pretty or Jeannie in Georgia.
Okay. Are those Netflix shows?
The Summer I Turned Pretty is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Jeannie in Georgia is on Netflix.
So it's streaming
yes.
shows. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite movie that you watched many times?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I'm not a big movie person.
Okay. And how about your favorite thing to celebrate?
Halloween.
Halloween. Okay. I'm going to have to send you some kind of Halloween decoration or something.
My family's like big with Halloween. Like we're decked out for Halloween. It's
okay.
Fun.
Yeah, I suppose, I think, it's however you've grown up, And so you've grown up always like really celebrating it big and having fun and I didn't. And so, I think that there's a lot of truth to your, how you've grown up and how your parents raised you and things. There's a lot of truth to that about, how that carries on.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any lucky charms or any traditions when you go to the racetrack?
No.
Okay.
So, usually just going to McDonald's every time.
Okay. So you
That's
always
literally it.
all right, because I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite track food? But you go to McDonald's before you go to the race, or you don't eat and then you go after?
One thing about me is I cannot eat on race days. I can't keep any food down. I will not eat until my race is done or I leave the track.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that quite a bit.
Yeah, I just
That
can't.
happens quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you play any other sports like at school or anything, or it's pretty much just racing?
Nope, it's just racing. Just focus
Okay.
on racing.
So what do you do for fun when you're not racing?
I don't do anything.
You don't. You poor girl.
I don't know what it is. I just don't do anything else.
Okay. Well, you're focused on racing, and yet you're not sure you want to do it for a long time. So that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of because I don't even know what I want to do when I'm done with racing. So I'm just like all over the place right now. I don't have any vision for my future, which
that's
is
okay.
sad, but I'll get there one day.
Well, and you don't have to decide all those things today. You're 15.
Mm-hmm.
You may come across some kind of career that will lead you into racing and being involved in a race team or at a racetrack or something, but you're not the driver. And so I always encourage girls, don't think because maybe driving isn't your passion, but maybe maybe photography is, or makeup. Did you know I interviewed a gal? Actually, I've interviewed two gals who are the makeup people for the NASCAR. So they go to the NASCAR races and they do the makeup for all the announcers and everybody. I never knew that was a thing.
I neither till you just now told me.
So if it's somebody that likes to do hair and makeup and stuff, what a great job. And the one woman I interviewed, she's like, oh my gosh, it's the best job in the world, and so anyway, there's a lot of good careers that you wouldn't think of, but that can be tied to a NASCAR team or television or whatever it might be. So you just never know what you're going to come across that you're going to fall in love with, Phoenyk. So don't put pressure on yourself to decide that today.
I try not to.
You've got plenty of time to think about it for sure. Yeah. So let's see. Let me see if we have any questions. KW says she loves the logo on your sweatshirt. I'm going to have to buy one. Johnny O'Neill says, I promote you in my group. Keep digging. Have an awesome 2023. He's great. He promotes so many girls. He said, she's a true racer. Several teams have women that are team engineers. Yeah. These teams, every position you can think of, there's women involved. And so I know you're going to find what you're passionate about at some point for sure. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that we should have mentioned? Like, did you have some kind of a really big win somewhere? Or is there somebody you want to mention on your team, or anything at all that we have not talked about that I want to make sure we get on the show when it comes to Phoenix Kimball?
I think we pretty much covered everything, to be honest.
Okay.
I can't think of anything right now. So.
All right. So when is your next race?
It's not this weekend, but I think the next. Is that right?
In a couple weeks, coming up here in March.
And weeks, at least.
If I wanted to follow and find out where you're going to be racing, how would I do that?
You can go on my Facebook page, Phoenix Kimball 88 Racing. Every time I'm at the track, you'll see a post. Okay. And I'll tell you everything. So usually you'll just find everything there.
Okay. All right. So get on and follow her on social media. Phoenix Kimball 88 Racing. Let's get her some more followers so that people know where she's at. And how far do you travel when you race?
Usually between 2 to 3.5 hours, maybe. Yeah. But when I go to Florida every year for nationals, it's around like 7.5 hours, maybe.
Okay. but you never come north to Michigan.
No.
No, because there's really not much up here for you to
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to have to make a road trip then, Phoenix, and find where you're going to be and try to get. That's my goal is when I meet, especially young gals, I want to go and watch them race in person.
Mm-hmm.
At least we've met in person, but it's not
Yes.
the same. I want to be able to watch a race. So I'll have to get on there and see what I can do about that. So. I know your parents are probably close. Is there anything that they can think of that we should talk about, or should I let you go?
Nope, I guess there's nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you taking time tonight to be on. It's International Women's Day. And so I'm proud of you for sticking with racing and working hard. And I'm going to be following and seeing how you do. So make sure you're pretty good about tagging Women's Motorsports Network. But make sure you keep tagging me so that then your stuff comes to the top.
Thank you.
Because I have so many that I'm trying to follow. If you don't tag me, then sometimes I miss what you're up to. So yeah, do that for sure. And I have one more question. Do you ever go to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway?
I do not. I have never been there before.
Okay, I haven't either, but that's on my bucket list for this summer. I'm going to try to go to Nashville to the NASCAR race, but I am going there for the Indy race in August, but I want to go for the NASCAR race there because I hear that's a really cool track. So, all right. Well, Phoenix, thanks again for everything. Good luck this year. And if I can ever help or announce something that you're doing or anything, you know how to get a hold of me, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So that was Phoenyk Kimball. She's from North Carolina. She races a Legends car. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of that kind of racing here in Kalamazoo, but I really know more and more young girls that are doing that kind of racing. So I'd like to learn more about it and that, but there's always so much to see and do and hear and listen to that sometimes I can't keep track of it all for sure. So other than International Women's Day, there was a couple things that I wanted to mention tonight. So I had a young gal reach out to me, and I don't always talk about these kind of things, but I love seeing when girls, boys too, in racing and adults, when they give back to the community or they have some kind of project that they're passionate about or they want to help give back to. So I know I met a young gal named Michelina Monaco. She's a 16-year-old female race car driver, and she's trying to raise money for Kids for Cancer. So years ago, her dad began a fundraiser for St. Jude, and now she wants to do the same. So she has something that she's doing. It's called Race for Research to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And it's a celebrity waiter dinner. It's going to feature highly competitive Northern California micro sprint drivers ages 6 and up and their teams working together for one night in the spirit of giving back to their community, raising money for childhood cancer research and treatments. This truly is a kids helping kids event. The drivers will dress in their fire suits and wait tables to over 300 guests. It's going to be Friday, May 12th, and it's going to be at the Hilton Garden Inn in Fairfield, California, just a few miles away from Dixon Speedway, where all these kids compete. So she's needing some help. So I'm going to tell you what she needs. If you're willing or want to help her, you can reach out to me and I can connect you with her. But she needs items for the silent auction and live auction. Any contributions you can make will help them raise funds for the fight against childhood cancer. If you give a donation, you'll receive a mention in their program on their social media and recognition at the event. So reach out to me, or she has a Facebook page called Race for Research. Get on there, and if you have any kind of a racing memorabilia that's collecting dust like I do, find find some things that maybe you could ship to her. Get on Facebook, Race for Research. Her name's Michelina. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Michelina Monaco. She lives in San Jose, California, but I can give you more information, and I am going to be posting this on my Facebook page, and also it will be in my magazine, so that if you want to reach out to her and help her, we need to encourage these young kids not only to continue racing and promote the sport, but also to give back. Giving back is really important. And so hopefully somebody out there can find something that they could share. Phoenix, I know they'd probably love a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, just anything like that, so that we can help them raise some money. So that's kind of it for tonight. I don't have anything else to share with all of you. I want you to know I appreciate that you follow us on Wednesday nights. You can also go to any major podcast platform, Apple, Podbean, all those, and follow Racing Girls Rock Women's Motorsports Network. That's our Facebook, or that's our podcast that we record. It has lots of great interviews with women in all aspects of motorsports. And, there's some really fun and great interviews on there. You can also go back and watch on Let's Talk Racing Live. Go back and listen to any of the shows that we did here. And we've had some really good ones on here as well. So, everybody, I hope you're having a good week. We're supposed to have more snow. So we had an ice storm, then it warmed up and it melted. Then last Friday, we had a snowstorm. We had 8 inches of snow. Then it warmed up and it all melted. So, there's mud and crud everywhere. And so today it was like 50 degrees, and it's been sunny the last couple of days, which is wonderful when you live in Michigan, that the sun comes out. And then starting tomorrow night and Friday, we're going to have another snowstorm. So, Mother Nature's just giving us that little bit of hope that spring is coming and local racing is going to be starting in mid to end of April. So we're hoping that it's going to warm up and the sun's going to come out, and we're going to start going to our local tracks. All right, everybody. Thanks for being on. Thanks for listening. Follow us and share what we're doing, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.